Hello, friends. Welcome back. My second episode this week. It's been a big week for little Sasha. I spoke with Joran on Monday, which blew my fucking mind. And I'm following this up with Camille and Alexis, a brother-sister duo that go under the name of Hansom Eli. It's kind of a big week for such a small boy, and I'm very fortunate and thankful that they came and spoke with me today about their upcoming song called Golden. I learned a lot, as always, and I'm sure you will too. It's a really, really cool song. It's interesting. I never spoke to a brother-sister duo before, and I really consider them peers. You know, we're both from the same city, about the same age, doing the same thing, and we have friends in common as well, and it was just sort of natural that I would speak with them today and get to know a bit of who they are, and I'm sure we haven't heard the last of them. This I promise. Before I go forward, I do want to say again a big thank you to Joran for coming through. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I spoke with her. She is so cool, and hell, I think I should start a podcast with Joran and just talk 1 hour a week with her. I also want to put out there that I'm releasing a song Friday, aka tomorrow. It's my cover of my favorite song from Tom York called Atoms for Peace. I'm going to be releasing a making of podcast the week after, as well as a music video and other such goodies. I hope that you stick around. I hope that you listen to the podcasts. I hope you listen to the song. I hope you watch the video. I hope you check out Hansom Eli. I hope you check out Joran. Guys, I'm dropping nuggets here for everybody. I'm doing my best to give you guys something to listen to watch. I'm really enjoying doing this. I'm really looking forward to doing more of it. So soon I will be launching a Patreon. I'll be, starting a GoFundMe, doing all kinds of crazy shit. I don't know. I'm going to be trying some stuff out. Because I'm giving you guys everything for free, basically, and I will need a little bit of support to be able to push forward. I also now have an email address for any comments, suggestions, guest pitches. If you want to come on the podcast, if you have an artist that you manage, if you have comments, if you have negative comments, positive comments, I want to hear them. It's creativemoodpodcast@gmail.com. My friends, I'm going to leave you on this. I hope you had fun, and let me know you exist. Have a good day, guys. All right, we're live. How are you guys?
We're good.
Yeah, doing pretty well.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Sasha.
I have heard and seen you guys through Alexandra, which is our friend in common.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that you guys work with her.
Yeah, she's our agent with Mathieu Doralo.
Yeah.
With the Vault, yeah.
I met this girl when 7 years ago. I
Whoa.
must say that you guys are very, very, very lucky to have someone like her in your team. That girl is amazing, and I love her dearly. And I never get to see her because she's always doing something else.
Yeah, she's
Right.
always she's been out of town too for like 6 months.
She's too big for us, man. She's too big
big.
for us. So you guys are here, and I wanted to talk about some songs and what you guys do and sort of get to know you guys in a frame that's a little bit larger than a 4-minute radio interview.
Yeah.
So I did some research, like I said, but I didn't really go too far because what's the point? It's my understanding that you guys are brother and sister.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
it.
Who's the eldest?
That'll be
Deborah.
me.
Okay. And that's really curious. You know, I don't meet often brothers and sisters who make music together, let alone hang out. Okay. How did you guys start making music? Was it like a musical household? Was it one led the other in?
Was he?
I mean, plus ou moins, we both kind of did music when we were younger. I played guitar and sang in my room, and he started playing drums at, how old are you?
Like 12, 13.
12, 13. Our dad was a guitarist, but we never made music in that house together. We didn't really love. I didn't really like him, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he moved to Montreal. Then I followed a year or two later, and I started working in cinema. Then doing some design that I wasn't into it. And then he was like, "Hey, why don't you just like
do that thing
music?"
you do? Yeah.
Because we started a collab with a guy I met in a park once, and through a friend.
Well, actually, it kind of ties well to Golden because it's
That's
Neil
true.
Shack, and
Yeah.
he actually enabled the genesis of us starting to write together. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
kind of a full circle.
It's funny that you would say guitar and that you would say he's playing drums, because it's like right there, if in retrospect you're like, oh well, there's a band already.
There's a
you know?
band.
Yeah, yeah.
And where are you guys from?
We're from Ottawa.
Ottawa. Yeah.
Okay.
Our parents are from Montreal and Quebec, so des Québécois.
C'est pour ça qu'on parle le franglais de même. Là.
Exact.
Oh yeah.
Je comprends.
Heavy.
Okay. I
Always.
wasn't sure if it was like maybe Ottawa or like even further, you know?
Mm.
Parce que t'es comme some people on the coast, they're like their Franglish is like on another level.
On another level.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say we're on another level to our parents, but for here, I think it's pretty normal, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's-
Sometimes it's funny, that sort of mix where you don't know where to stand.
Yeah, well, I know exactly where to stand because I have that mix, you know what I mean?
Okay, and then how old are you guys first?
I'm 26.
I just turned 30.
Damn,
Yeah.
everyone's such a baby.
I like hearing that.
And Hansom Eli, how long has that project been going?
Handsome Ellie.
Handsome Eli, there you go. I
Yeah,
stand
'cause
corrected.
yeah. I mean, it's typical. How long? To Novembre 2018.
Yeah.
So
That's when it kind of slowly began to
Ouais.
form, you
Yeah.
know. And we put out the first release officially January 2019, and then from there, that was just kind of songs that Cam had written over the years that we kind of rearranged and played off the floor mostly together.
Right.
The Yesterday
Gotcha.
EP, and then from there, Soho and Monet, and then the Better Days EP and stuff kind of flowed from there,
Right. And I'm assuming with the pandemic, there hasn't been many shows.
Yeah, none.
Just online,
Yeah,
which
I've
is
seen those.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same, is it?
Nah.
Yeah.
it's yeah.
I think we're done with those. Like,
We did one a couple days ago, and it was cool, but the sound on Instagram is just so terrible
Oh,
that
for sure.
there's like a sound cancellation that happens when there's two people sharing a stream.
Oh,
So like I listened back, and the piano sounds like it has no sustain, so it sounds terrible.
Right.
I was like, this does not represent us well,
Yeah, for sure. I think when you send an image on Instagram, it already compresses the thing.
Yeah.
So I
so
can only
imagine a
imagine.
video
Yeah.
and sound.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, we really got stiffed on that one, huh?
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I was debating myself doing some of these things, and at the end I figured like just doing like these little daily whips that I was doing, just recording audio through Ableton and like shitty video on my phone. I felt it was less of a compromise.
Yeah.
And I think there was I don't know for you guys, but there was definitely a bit of a, maybe pressure is too strong of a word, but a big incentive to do live things, and I'm sure you guys felt it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You gotta stay on your feet. You need people to be. You
Yeah.
need eyeballs. So it was kind of like, what do we do? What's the balance we should?
How do you
have
feel
with
about
that.
that now, in retrospect?
I mean, I think it's a good test, especially for us that we haven't done many shows. So that stress is still there. It doesn't really disappear.
Yeah.
It's not as big for sure, but it still kind of helps me anyway to just kind of get into that vibe.
Yeah.
But it's also not long enough for us to actually stay in that vibe. It's kind of like we do 2-3 songs and then it's done, because it's not really fun to play like 7 songs live like that.
On Instagram,
It's
Yeah.
kind of just it doesn't work. You don't get into it as much.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The feedback is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the test was good, but I think like 2 days ago we listened back to it and we're like, I don't think we want to do this anymore. It doesn't represent, like you said, like it doesn't represent us at all.
No.
So it's like
The replayability of these things, anyways, is so small.
yeah,
So
exactly.
fuck
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
know, if you don't
Fuck
like it in
yeah.
a few months, just delete the thing.
It's just the day of. Fuck it.
Yeah, there you
Just
go.
it's-
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
FMA.
seeing this video that you guys did where you were on a dock.
Yeah.
That one was sick.
Yeah, we got to do more of
I
those.
loved
yeah.
it.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
it was just to promote us. It was like to put it on Instagram, and we need to finish that song. We need
Man,
to,
best thing. It was just, and if I remember correctly, or am I making this up? You just sort of dipped in the water
Yeah,
at the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, who are these people? I love this. Absolutely, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It felt very natural. You know,
Mm.
it just felt like, okay, they're just there and they just minimal setup, and I like that. That sort of resonated with me even more than just the struggle of having to go through the technical aspect of a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And I bet
True.
you it was more fun just being
Yeah.
in the woods.
Prettier. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we did do it. We had to redo it initially, right? We did it once. And then the camera, because we were filming on phones,
Yes.
because we were, on a lake, and our dad was paddling the canoe, and
There was a whole production.
there's a
setup.
whole thing.
Okay.
And Jan, our cousin, who's a great collaborator with us,
Okay. A
he
family affair.
family affair. That's it.
Amazing.
Yeah, he was filming on his Samsung phone, but there was some problem with the FPS, and it just like was corrupted. So we're just like, okay, we have to wait till her clothes dries and go and do it again. You know?
So are you guys saying that you're more than just musicians? You're also sound designers, sound technicians, video technicians, video
Definitely.
editors.
Yeah, we do all
Definitely.
of it.
We the prod.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I feel the same way. Like that's a conversation I have often. It's like it's almost as if I don't even know that I'm a musician anymore sometimes.
Mm,
You know, I spend so many hours sitting behind this fucking desk,
right.
editing shit.
Yeah.
As much as I like it,
Huh.
you know. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like now, la démocratisation de l'art a fait que genre, we can do everything, yay, but now you gotta do everything.
Everything.
You got to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into the song.
Sweet.
Sick. All right. That quintuplet swing for you music nerds out there.
And is this real drums?
So it's a combination of different things. So originally the beat was Jan and I, our cousin, who we do a lot of beat making sessions together, and
Right.
this was kind of just a rough thing that had happened, and it didn't sound exactly like this at the time. And when we started building up the song, and I was working on the drum sounds and stuff, I actually redid those hi-hats in the verse on a live
Right.
drum.
I was wondering that.
Yeah, and did some cross sticks. There's a lot of layers and stuff. And then I had gridded the groove there was already a swing to the groove, but then when I played to it, I naturally kind of swung it even more in a more human way.
Yeah.
So then I re-gridded everything to my playing.
Right.
And then this is also a live hi-hat you can hear
Yeah.
in this section. So I wanted something that was not only sampled but also live, and
Yeah.
and that had that kind of depth, and
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
so yeah.
Who are your influences when you're creating? Because I suppose there has to be a consensus to some degree of like a direction, or is that still the struggle always, or where are we?
It's kind of weird. There's no consensus. We're just kind of like, sometimes, I mean, we have those moments where like, oh, we should maybe go into like some funky track where we can dance to it. And then it's like, okay, this summer it just happens that we have 4 tracks that are kind of like dancey, but it's not like we push ourselves to do a kind of track. It's just kind of
Right.
like, it comes out that way, you know? And you can modify that afterwards. Like Alexi's gonna play some keys and I'm gonna start singing, and then it's like,
Yeah.
it's like a super pretty song, and then you add a beat and you're like, woo, okay, let's get cracking, you know? It's like,
Absolutely.
so
And I think it's also like serving, the energy of the song that appears, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, for
So
sure, for
sometimes,
Everything goes out the window if you're just trying to service the song. Yeah.
everything can change. And
Absolutely. I have that approach too, for sure.
Yeah, so we're not too precious about these things,
Mhm.
and we try to be ready to scrap ideas,
Yeah.
and move things away, and in fact that video of us on the dock, we did like the 30-second thing on the dock itself is sick, but as a whole song it wasn't really working, so that's gonna be a song, but it's not gonna sound like that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You got to go back on the dock and finish the song.
Write a new one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Do a whole show from that place, man.
That's
Fuck.
it.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
Amazing. That would be amazing. You kidding me? No one's done this. You guys got to do this.
Next thing you know, the push is in the water. That's the risk.
I'm getting like a really cool like a D'Angelo vibe with this drum track.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
something like on Voodoo was his second record, I think.
I was definitely channeling Dilla on this song a lot. You know?
Yeah. I'm really. I don't know about you guys. I'll create something, without thinking of it, but then naturally I'm quick to point where my inspiration comes from to myself. So then I'm like, oh, so this is what I was trying to do. So then I'll mindfully mine in that direction. So for example, if I was doing like a Dilla type beat, then I don't know if you ever get that flash and you're like, oh. So then it gets easier to finish the idea. Sometimes people struggle with like, I don't know where my idea came from. I don't know how to finish it.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it's like I'm a big Radiohead nerd. So I'm like, oh, I need anxious percussion. So I'll do that.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I feel like for me, Alexi, most times when we're singing, he's like try to do this like Christine and the Queens kind of like saccade in your voice. He's gonna like just be like, you'll get into her skin, and try to get weird with it.
Right.
So me, it's mostly like in like who sings what, and he's kind of like always pointing out like, get into it,
Right. Because you guys sing together on every song, most songs.
Well, Cam is the singer, and in fact, it kind of feels to me like, she is the voice that I have now.
Right. Beautifully said. Yeah.
So I used to sing more, but now Cam is there.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with melodies together and we'll riff off different things, and Cam will sing something. It's like, oh, that's really sick. Okay, just change that one note, or let's harmonize it this way. And sometimes I am in some of these songs like feel.
Are you
I
singing
did like
this one, right?
in this one I don't. No, I don't.
I did
think
not
I
hear
did.
you.
No, I don't. Maybe like a back vocal
We
somewhere.
wouldn't know. It's really Niels.
It's
there.
Neil Shack
Yeah,
who
Neil
sings
Shack,
in
yeah.
this one the most. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I did not
Yeah.
make that distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I did hear a guy's voice in
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
For sure.
So I just assumed. I'm sorry.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not.
That's
It's
on me,
not
man.
me. No, it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, it's. No, Cam has such a magical thing in her energy and her voice and the way that she interprets lyrics and melodies.
Mhm.
So it's like an instrument for me to be able to work
Absolutely
with her.
right. Yeah. If you get, I started to think of vocals and the voice just as an instrument. It seems like when you get into production and songwriting, you're like, oh, wait a minute. The voice is so much more than just words.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
By the way, fun fact about this bass stem
Please.
is that there's actually 3 bass players on this song.
Huh.
It was a real casse-tête, there was actually technically there's 4 different types of basses. There's like a synth bass. There's our friend Eli, who adds some. He sent me a bunch of tracks, but I ended up using like 1% of it. As just
Right.
like these little filler things at the beginning. I play some bass on it, and then Jeff McFarlane, who's a good friend of ours, also he's the meat of the chorus
Right.
and those nice riffs at the end.
Right.
So yeah,
So if I'm understanding this correctly, these tracks, the drums and the bass, it's a lot of comping.
oh yes,
So you guys are going through the bits and then you're piecing them all
Mostly
together.
Alexi.
Mention.
Giving him the credit.
Absolutely, yeah, because he's the guy sitting there going fuck,
Yeah.
and just editing the shit out of like microseconds. I
Yeah.
hate
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that, man, because you gotta
Yeah.
fade in, fade out stuff.
oh yeah,
You gotta, oh my goodness, man,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
monk's work. I did that for years, man, and then I was like, I can keep doing this, or I can just learn to play the part.
right.
Not to say that I'm any good at bass playing, but
Well, sometimes, it's sometimes it's not about just, for me, it's not about just having, because like Jeff, for example, and Eli, like I'm not a bass player, but they're great bass players.
Right.
And, even still, I'm very demanding in the studio. I'm kind of crazy,
you should be, yeah.
So, like there's a song that's coming up we did with Jeff, 160 takes.
Well, I take back what I just said.
So, so from there, it's like, why would you do that? Well, there is something about how we work and the sort of depth of vision that we're trying to achieve, and whoever ends up hearing these kinds of stems, you can see like how it all fits together, and for me, especially a bass line is the foundation of a song. It's so important for it to groove and to flow and to carry the low end, that I'm always in that search for the ultimate bass line.
And let me ask you, would you be more inclined to keep a bass track for how it sounds or the part that's played? Like, which is more important? Like, if there's a mistake in the playing, or if the sound is not, perhaps the best sound in the world?
Yeah, for me, it's really about the part itself, because I can work the sound.
Yeah,
it's not a problem.
I get you.
Man.
Let's go with the keys. I have a different relationship with these things. Sometimes I feel like we spend so much time behind our computers, editing, comping, and doing all this work that, like, not even if you like it, like doing it or not, just the idea of like, it's so much work.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm losing more and more patience. Like now my songs, I almost tell the guys, like, you know what? We're gonna pre-produce the idea together in our minds, and we're gonna like talk about it. But when we go to record this, whatever happens, this is it. Mm-hmm. And there's something really scary about that.
Yeah.
Because then there's no safety net.
Right.
But I just feel like, I almost feel like I just want to get songs out there. I'm so fucking tired of sitting behind my computer. And at the end of the day, I mean, and this is not I don't mean this disrespectfully. I just mean to say that, like, we will be the only ones hearing the little things.
Yeah.
And like, we have this conversation on this podcast so often, like Joran was here on Monday, and she has a completely different approach to this, and she's like a perfectionist, but she has that knowledge to back it up. Whereas, like, I don't know about you guys, I'm not a virtuoso on anything, so she nails the take on the first take, and I'm still like frustrated sitting here doing 160 takes.
Right. I think it depends, it depends on the intention and the stylistic choices, There's definitely some things that we'll do in a more simple way, and in fact, like, even that first EP was off the floor, and it was very simple and very few tracks, and I would definitely love to do that more, because it is frustrating and long and tedious to go through the editing process. However, I see these things as like a painting, and it does take time, and sometimes you hear about some really great records, and some of them were made in a day, and some others were made in years, so
yeah, for sure.
it's
absolutely.
not
That's a good point.
It's just about the song. Like, what is the song asking for? Is it off the floor, or is it 200 hours of editing?
And tell me about this keyboard track. This is beautiful, man. Who's playing this?
So it's mostly me on the keyboards. There's some Juno in there. Jan played that little note, the piano stuff there. The chords in this song are pretty cool. It starts off with like a 2/5, so like a D minor 7 and And now I'm getting into
My man busting out chord
yeah.
names.
Now I'm,
Hey.
if you want to
By all
learn
means,
the
man,
song,
go ahead. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Like,
you know, I was So this it kind of has some weird stuff harmonically going on this song, but that's what we love to do. So
I was really taken by the simplicity of the song when I was listening to the stems of it. And I found that really interesting because I don't know, I haven't heard that in a minute, like something where it was so simple, and then when I put it together I was like, oh, big vibe.
right.
And I know it sounds kind of c'est anodin ce que je dis là, but genre, I do that often with a lot of artists, and
Yeah.
like it's not always the case. You know, you wouldn't know just by listening to these stems. Sometimes you do. Sometimes, you hear just one stem, and you're like, this piano, for example, is like probably like the most far out stem from that song.
Yeah.
And yet, when I put the whole song together, j'étais comme, fuck, c'est donc fucking nice.
Yeah.
So, for sure, genre, tu sais, vous vous cassez la tête, puis c'est très minimal, votre approche est vraiment, tu sais, les choses sont, it doesn't go all over the place, tu sais.
Yeah, it's there for a reason, yeah.
Yeah, c'est vraiment cool, man. I have a hard time doing pop music in that sense, where like removing, keeping things simple and impactful, tu sais, avec une structure qui est simple. Souvent, tu sais, et moi le premier, là, tu sais, genre, j'ai pas toujours nécessairement une facilité d'accepter la musique pop, mais en même temps, tu sais, if I'm being completely honest, je suis pas capable d'en faire. Tu sais, like, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Because it's that sort of removing and thoughtfulness that everything has to have an impact.
Yeah.
So you're always just removing fat, you're always thinking about maximum impact. Puis, tu sais, il faut que tous tes sons soient nice. C'est fucking de la job, là,
Yeah.
So this song, in its simplicity in the stems, I found, like, the beauty of the final product.
Cool.
J'étais comme, vraiment, guys, c'est très cool.
That's interesting, because there's like 200 some tracks in this song, so.
It doesn't sound like it.
You
It
know?
doesn't sound, like, convoluted and all over the place.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
sound...
Yeah.
Tu sais, j'ai décortiqué une chanson de 9 minutes à Joran lundi.
Wow.
That was an adventure.
Well, Jaran is wild too.
Yeah,
she's,
for
she's
sure.
something, I mean.
For sure. Tu sais, mais genre... tu sais, I guess to my point, c'est ça, tu sais, c'est que c'est deux univers complètement différents, puis genre, en 3 minutes, vous autres, vous avez fait un truc qui est complètement différent, puis qui est... it's the same work, it's just different. Les guitares. Fait que c'est qui, ça? C'est toi qui joues les guitares?
Non, moi je joue pas grand chose honnêtement sur les tracks.
Ok.
It'd be cool, but no, I'm pretty voice, melodies, lyrics.
Parfait,
That's
ça.
me.
Yeah.
Judging what my brother does.
The nice seat. Yeah.
Yeah, non, ça c'est... yeah, des trucs, you know, when we were just first coming up with the song with Niels, we had that beat and we had some just, I think some of those guitar tracks were there.
Right.
But a lot of stuff came after. Like in the chorus here that's coming up, you can hear a bunch of different guitars. Some of those were there originally, and then some others were added after. And there's a whole other stem with ukulele and stuff. But
Yeah, I saw that. That's my first ukulele stem. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So wait a minute, you don't play much on the songs, which means you spend your whole life doing these things. And are you ever there with him, or what's the relationship like?
When he works with other artists like Jeff or I mean, I sometimes I'm there, sometimes I leave because
Sure.
they're in a vibe and it's kind of like I don't bring much to that, I don't have that much like theory and baggage.
Well, that's smart
so.
though, because sometimes people stick around and they just fuck the whole thing up, and you're like, yo, honnêtement, I'm just trying to get something going. Right now is not the time for criticism. Right.
Yeah, I think I'm more like I have a good position when the track is like almost done or like
Right.
in the process, like some sounds I'm not into and I'm gonna like scrap that, or I'm kind of like, oh, that's amazing, or like that's shitty, or like like maybe not said that way, but
Or sometimes said that way.
yeah, and I think so. I think it'd be a good idea for me to sit more often and just kind of like Clock Hands. I started that track, but in the end, like he changed pretty much everything around it,
But it's still, the essence is the same,
I think it's difficult when you do that because you know, you're the singer, and sometimes it's difficult. As I found out for myself, like I can write a song, and at the end I'm like, oh, I can't sing on this. That's been something that I had to figure out, like to write songs for my voice. Ça a l'air vraiment genre banal ce que je dis, mais c'est un big deal. I like this song, but my voice doesn't work on it, or not even like inspiration, just like la tonalité ou genre le pacing de la chanson, il y a quelque chose, puis ça c'est tricky because sometimes you get attached to these things and you're like, that's actually a good song.
Yeah.
Why can't we make it work?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I feel. Like for me, Cam is le noyau, genre, and everything is about serving.
It has to be filtered
serving
through her.
And
which is not a small thing, tu sais.
Yeah. But that's why I enjoyed doing. You know, that's why I go through these crazy sessions of editing and stuff. Is just because, you know, there is un fil conducteur of her voice, and you know, it's just about kind of dressing that up, and it sounds. I mean, we don't really use autotune and stuff like that. Like sometimes we'll use Melodyne for back vocals, or
pour un effet.
Yeah, or you know, if there's like, if we did a rough vocal and that's like, wow, the tone of that is amazing, and it was on you know, SM58, and oh, maybe there's one note off. Okay, we'll tweak that note, but Cam has this harmonic sound in her voice that just hits, you know, and
yeah, clearly
it's
very nice. I must say, like, tu sais, c'est ça la beauté de la voix. Tu sais, everyone's got such a unique thing, and c'est quand même spécial. C'est ça qui est précieux. Tu sais, the music you guys create together, it just fits so well. Tu sais, and I'm sure you guys talk about this sometimes. Puis vous êtes comme, damn, c'est vraiment précieux ce qu'on a, or at least I hope you are.
For sure.
Ouais.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yes.
C'est tout ce que j'écoute depuis tantôt là. Tu sais, pour revenir, admettons, aux stems. De mon point de vue là, tout est joué très délicatement.
Yeah, in this song,
c'est soft, genre.
Right.
Il n'y a pas des gros drums, il n'y a pas de la grosse guitare, il n'y a pas des gros keys, tu sais, c'est tout
Yeah, Alexi is really good.
en beauté.
Like in a context that we're playing for an EP, for an actual track, or just like playing live, you know. He's really good at giving space to everybody there. He's really like guiding everybody, you know, like tone it down. Like,
Ouais, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's
savoir ça.
Amazing. Yeah, because everybody's feeling like they have like their place in that spot, you know. And it's like sometimes, like I remember once we went to a party, him and I, and it was a room.
What are those?
Everybody was just what are those? Everybody were just jamming, and the drum player was just going crazy, and it was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And I couldn't even hear myself, you know. And the volume was really high. It was not the problem.
I heard about these drummers.
And it's just fucked up. I was just like, you know, drop the mic, like fuck this shit, I'm leaving. You know, it's like this is not cool. And with Alexi, he's always like looking at people. He's like, okay. You know, he's like always guiding them. He's like
he's the Quincy Jones
you know?
of the band.
Yeah,
absolutely. Ben ça c'est un gros skill, man. C'est tellement important. Là. I was a drummer when I was younger, so I'm gonna come out and say that I think I've been that guy before. You know.
Nice.
And then eventually one of my homies was just like, listen, dog, like you can't fucking do this.
That's funny.
I was just like,
just tone it down.
It took me a while, man. It took me a while to get it. Then I was like,
yeah.
I think I understand what he means.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a drummer-songwriter.
No.
Yeah. Once I played a show and with a super talented artist, Avery Florence, and we were playing a show in Toronto for Canadian Music Week, and it was kind of a band that like we hadn't met most of the band members. Like when we showed up to the venue, it was like, hey, nice to meet you, we're gonna play in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And this great bass player Stacy, we're setting up, and I'm like, all right, so you know, we're gonna keep it quiet today, like let's keep it like really low key, like for her voice and everything. He's like, what? I've never heard a drummer say that. I love you. And I was like, wow, sick. You know?
That's great.
And it was like, yeah, okay, we just it's not about serving yourself as a musician. It's about serving the music and the song and
sure.
and the singer and everything else. So
yeah, man, those are for sure. These are, I mean, there's the studio approach, there's the live approach, but there's something to be said about that. Like, I'm also rehearsing for mood boards right now,
Mm.
and that's definitely something we're gonna have to keep in mind, because it's this thing of like just the expression sometimes of being the singer and being on stage. It's like you're exercising something that the other musicians are not. C'est toi, t'es pas en train de jouer un instrument, c'est ta voix l'instrument, man. So genre sometimes you tend to, yeah, c'est compliqué. And do you guys play with backing tracks?
We have,
Yeah.
but we prefer not.
Yeah. And
The
why is
goal-
that?
Yeah.
Bye, vas-y.
Well, the goal is to not,
Mhm.
have that. Having an orchestra would just be so great,
Ouais.
But basically, you have no slack when you have a backtrack.
Ça c'est
You,
clair.
you mess up and you don't have
You're
any.
stuck to it.
Yeah, you just stuck to it.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, hey, let's just restart the verse. It's like you can't just stop the track either. What kind of
Yeah.
moment is that? So
Right.
so
And there is something about, seeing musicians play.
yeah, and just the
for sure,
sound,
you know.
just
For
the
sure.
sound of
And
it
the
is
sound-
completely different.
I
But
mean,
I think there's
yeah.
there's so many different approaches to backing tracks.
Yeah.
And people listening are just gonna laugh, but I'm always going back to like Tom York, and his approach to solo work is something I don't see other artists doing, and it's a lot of pre-production work, but he'll boil down his songs to like one loop, and he makes like dynamic changes in the loop, brings in and out, like brings elements in and out. And if I'm understanding correctly, it's just one loop that never changes, and yet you never feel like it repeats.
Mm.
And every other instrument can play on it, improvise, and go places, make mistakes. And for some reason, the loops are so strong, you never feel like it's a loop.
Right.
That's all I know. I haven't figured out how he does it,
Huh.
but like there are people doing amazing things with loops.
Yeah.
And for sure, backing tracks suck in the sense that the story is already being told.
Mm.
And if you fuck up, you have to catch up to the story.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it depends, of the context,
For
if
sure.
like it depends on your kind of track you're trying to deliver,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom York is pretty particular in his music and his
Yeah.
vibe and his sound is really super special, So I'm sure he does it well. Us, it's like they're tracks. They're like singing structured
Yeah,
tracks, and they're fun
absolutely.
and they bounce, and so it's kind of like staying in that kind of energy that you
Yeah.
want to dance around and just let loose.
Let me ask you guys, individually, what are your biggest challenges in the creative process? Big question, but I really want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I work with my brother, I'm really comfortable with the position I have in the duo, which is singing and writing lyrics and, yeah, sometimes composing, but not much. But the challenge is when other people step in and they're, like, really good. And I'm like, ooh, I feel it's like that imposter syndrome is I think a lot of artists in general feel that, but it's not like feeling enough. Like I don't have like, oh, I'm just a singer, that's all I do. I'm pretty much like an interpret of my own lyrics and his song,
What?
So it's kind of a weird feeling sometimes, because it's our music, but it's
Sure.
like, it does feel that way for sure. But that's the challenge, just like
That's something
validating
you live
my
often.
yeah,
je comprends.
definitely.
Mm.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
And how do you overcome that?
just telling myself that it's all good. Like this is all I can do. This not in the sense that I suck. In the sense like I'm doing this and I do it well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's what I do.
Reminding yourself
Yeah.
and being kind to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just being soft and being like, this is not everything either. This is like great times. It's not like I'm not a doctor here. I'm not trying to save lives. I'm just like,
I hear that one often. Yeah.
I'm
I'm
just
not
We're
trying to
just-
save lives.
Just
making
making
music,
music.
Yeah,
know?
but I mean, it's I ask these things because they're important. Everyone has like different hurdles creatively. Joran was telling me how she is so hard on herself, and I'm like, man, that's another thing that sucks the joy out of you. You
Yeah.
know, just like doubting yourself or being insecure, and like
Yeah.
we have to talk about these things, man, because like
yeah.
we all go through them, and
Yeah.
the feedback I get from the podcast often is like people are happy to hear us talk about these things, parce que c'est ça, on les vit tellement tous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puis toi, Alexis?
There's a few.
By all means.
There's a few. I mean, through every step of the process, I think, you know, like Cam was saying, like, oh, that's what she does. And for me, like, working with her, it has actually pushed me so much as a producer and as a writer and a composer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do put a lot of pressure onto how I, how I move forward with each song, with each piece of a song. I, obsess over chord changes and, mixes, like, are just, it's a never-ending process. Thankfully, we have an amazing mastering engineer who is very patient and allows me to do 7 revisions to a master, which is unheard of for me before. And even then I'll be like, the other day we finalized a song and it was like, okay, this is it. And then I was doubting it, and I had nightmares. Like, I didn't sleep that night, basically, because I was like, is it not right? Like, did I approve it too fast? And actually it's fine, just let it go. Yeah. But yeah, it's like bass lines, like as I was saying earlier, like, yeah. I'm obsessed with bass lines, and I remember, like, Summarize, when we were working on that song, it was like, it had to be done quick, and we were working on different things. And I remember, like, for a good week and a half, like, that's the only thing I was thinking about. And I was, like, in my bed thinking about it. We, like, went out to a river and we were hanging out outside, and I was still like, okay, like, is that the right note? Like, how do I make this fit? And so it's kind of obsessive and dangerous, and
yeah.
I have to check myself a lot for that, because that's how I go running, and I do do exercise as much as I can, because it helps to break the cycle.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself for sure.
But
yeah, because sometimes we give artists a license to be this way. And I feel like among us, we should also be careful not to go too far in these things, because we are encouraged to be quote unquote artists, but sometimes I feel those are like anxiety patterns, and there's a fine line sometimes.
Yes.
I'm just like you guys in a lot of those respects, and I got to check myself, like, okay, Sash, I think we're doing good.
It's gonna work out, and it's if we're struggling with a section, or we're trying to figure out a bridge or a pre-chorus that's just not working, it's like, just give it time. And that's the thing, like, that's why I'm so thankful to be with Cam, is that we support each other a lot, and I now trust the process of when we're together and we carve away at things, it eventually happens, eventually it shows up, and it just kind of falls out of the sky.
Yeah.
And it happens when we're together a lot, and
Beautiful.
that's really precious. So
sick. Yeah, for sure, man. There's something so special about being a brother and sister that, I love all my homies in my band, but they're not my actual brother or sister. So that's for sure. It's very precious, man. Okay, let's hear another track.
It's like, speaking of precious, just gonna throw on that.
That little uke.
Oh. Yeah, this was cool. This could be a song, like, on its own. It could be an ad or something like that.
For sure.
Yeah, Cam was doing a session with Jan that day. I remember very, very vividly, because they do music sometimes together, and Jan is our cousin. Very, very important. Shout out to Jan Le Bonneau. And
what's up, homie?
He's the best. And I remember they were working on stuff, and I was like, oh, like, I have to do something crazy today. Like, they're doing something crazy on their side, and I need to just go deep in this thing. And I recently bought a ukulele. And I felt like Golden, it needed that sort of uplifting, fun, light feeling, and acoustic guitar just didn't quite hit it, So when the ukulele came up, and it's not like we have any other songs with the ukulele, But it just in
Wait,
this
I thought
song,
this was a ukulele-driven.
we're a
project.
ukulele band. Yeah.
If you are a ukulele band, please reach out to me.
Yes. Join our band of ukuleles. So it was just kind of going deep down that rabbit hole of ukes.
It's really, again, like I said earlier, right? Like everything is played so, the intention of the song is very clear when you hear the stems. You're like, oh, it's just, on est là, on est doux, puis après ça, les vocals qui arrivent, puis t'es juste comme, ok, ouais, on vole.
Yeah, the vocals in this song are something for sure.
I put the vocals and back vocals together.
Cool.
Just because I wanted us to be able to contextualize them both.
Sick.
And this is always the most vulnerable part of the thing, isn't it?
Here we go. Yeah.
Here we go.
But their voices work so well together.
Yeah.
He goes by honey when life is wonderful.
Some ambient noise.
Don't care about
love that.
money. I just want love it. Don't wanna fall in something too comfortable.
Early morning rise in the yawning light. We go back and forth, yeah, we gotta fly. Always out of breath, yeah, I remember what you said. Take it easy, better wake up. 'Cause every blissful time, you're the only one that's truly on my mind. I feel you. Yeah.
You know I'll give all I care. Oh, I'll give it all. I know you'll give all you care. 'Cause we wanna go out. Yeah, we
Malade.
wanna go
love
out. Wanna
This
go
is probably,
outside and you
One of my favorite things of doing the podcast. I get to hear these isolated stems. Ugh, I love it.
Yeah, we
This is a really special song to us.
wanna go outside. I can't wait till you come down.
And you hear the song
Can't
bleed
wait.
through the headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Totally.
That's another conversation we've also had on the podcast where, like, there's different schools of thoughts. Everybody, some people like it to be extra clean, and others, it's just like, whatever. If it's in the headphones, it's in the song now, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful not to have like
It has
too
to be
loud of
workable.
yeah, like if there's a click going,
Yeah, for sure.
you know. So
Hopefully you don't get a click by the time you're doing the vocals. but
That's
yeah,
it.
Sure, some people.
that's it.
I've been that guy.
You look older, I'll be holding
Non, mais
you
vraiment,
like a
guys.
flower.
Such a cool song.
And I wish I
Honnêtement,
had
là,
40
merci d'être venu puis de me partager ça. là.
Ouais, merci à toi.
C'est,
Moi, je fais ça pour rencontrer du monde comme moi, pour jaser de ces affaires-là, puis juste de donner une plateforme pour parler de ces choses-là. Tu sais.
Wanna go outside and you wanna go out. Yeah, we wanna go out, wanna go
Love this part.
outside. We'll live it up, let's live it up. We're going out, it's the right time. Yeah, we'll live it up, let's live it up. We're going out for the right time. Yeah. I can't wait till you come down. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I think I might have bounced it, the stem, with like the reverb. Yeah, it must have been the other tracks were still going to the reverb. So
The
that's my,
effects out.
that's it. So we're still hearing the verb.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. On parle pas beaucoup, mais je veux juste tu sais, l'entendre puis l'écouter. Moi, je suis surpris qu'on fasse ça plus ça, genre pitcher des stems dans des podcasts puis écouter des affaires comme ça, genre, yo, on aime ça, faire ça.
Yo, I'm so into
Tu
it.
sais, imagine tes artistes préférés, genre, qui faisais ça, tu capoterais, là.
Ben, c'est aussi que genre, like people, you know, when they hear a song that's finished, oh, this is a little,
Eli.
yeah, little secret in there,
Hey.
little drop in the Hansom Elis.
I can't wait till you come
Yeah,
down.
people hear a song
Can't
and
wait.
it's just this one big chunk, you know, it's
Yeah.
this big compressed thing. But, you know, so much love goes into these things, and
Yeah.
a song like Golden for me and for us, I think, is a song that took a long time to finish.
Okay. How long did
Um,
it take from start to finish, let's say?
Well,
I met Niels 3 years ago.
yeah.
And he's the one we collabed with. We did a song called Nautica that is released under a name called Silly Children. But that's when I started working with Alexi. That's where it all started, right?
La genèse.
And we had started that too.
Yeah, this was a beat that Jan and I had, and then Niels came back. I think it was later.
Yeah, I think it was the summer after.
So in a
summer
way,
after.
it wasn't like it wasn't worked on for 3 years. It was started sometime
Yeah.
and then left to sleep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I guess more specifically, when you guys started to work on this song again, how long ago was that?
Right. That like
Yeah,
last September, October. Because we did the vocals in December with Niels over Skype.
He recorded his vocals on Skype?
Like he was at a studio
Oh,
in
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, damn.
Shit. Yeah.
These guys don't fuck around.
Yeah, I guess a year ago.
Come on.
Yeah.
And what's the fastest song you guys ever finished?
Summarize was the one.
Yeah.
Ça c'était combien de temps?
Like 2 months.
Yeah,
From start to finish.
With Mikey J. Blige, a beat maker from Toronto. He has his
Sick.
band IMUR, and he makes he's a wild dude.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
Mikey J. Blige.
Fait que, guys, what's next for you this summer?
Oof. Well, we have 4 releases. It's going to be an EP.
Okay.
The way it's going to be released, we don't know yet because COVID times and summertime is a weird time. So
Yeah.
it's
Kind of a re-examining our strategies.
yeah, constantly. It keeps changing. But
I bet. Ouais.
yeah, we have clips coming up for that. Dance clips, all dance-related clips. And ça bouge là. Ces tracks-là sont comme
Yeah.
Ouais.
plus happy feels.
Okay.
Which is kind of I'm glad because we always, you know, it's easier to write sad songs, you know.
I don't know if it's
So-
easier. It's easier for you, perhaps.
It's hard to write happy tracks without being cheesy, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, I find it hard to write happy songs.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Excusez-moi, pardon.
Yeah,
Oui, absolument.
it's quite
Yeah.
hard.
Ouais.
So very grateful for that we managed to do that.
Tu vas
Yeah.
avoir des shows? On sait-tu? On sait pas. On est où, là?
Well, we're going to Toronto. We're doing
That's-
yeah. It's not really a show. It's like
No.
we're playing on a bus that's like going around the city.
A party bus.
Yeah.
Yo, what's
But,
up? J'aime ça.
you know, it's like one of those tourism buses.
Ouais, great.
And they got a grant, and they have a bunch of artists, and we're just playing one song
Okay.
twice, you know, and they're
Ouais.
gonna film it.
Différentes
and
ride.
that's it.
Ah,
They're
ça va avoir
gonna-
du monde sur le bus.
I don't know I don't know what the deal is going to be
If
exactly.
they don't get,
but
come on, guys, get people on the bus. Like, if they don't
Yeah,
get people
for
on the bus,
sure.
what's up?
yeah, it has to be a party.
So we're gonna be
you know?
moving
Absolument.
around.
Yeah,
Oh, we're gonna be moving
We're gonna be
around. So
moving.
there's gonna be people on the bus. Why would be? I mean,
yeah,
I hope that'd be cool.
yeah.
Okay, I just learned this with you.
Voilà, there you go.
Cool, cool.
So we're
Wow.
gonna do that, and you know, maybe yeah, maybe some shows. I hope, you know.
Ouais, je comprends. Mais en même temps, je demande ça en sachant très bien que, genre, tu sais, les choses sont compliquées, là.
Mais on n'a aucune idée.
Ouais, tu sais, Joran, elle a un show l'an prochain en avril. Fait que, tu sais, c'est comme,
Wow.
Yeah.
on est là, genre,
Yeah.
OK, well, même pour moi, là, tu sais, I want to do a show in September. OK, what show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ouais.
yeah.
Enfin.
exact.
On va se laisser sur la chanson terminée.
Sick.
Guys, thank you for coming today.
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
having us. Really.
It's a pleasure.
Tout le plaisir est pour moi, man. J'ai hâte que les gens écoutent ça, man. Les gens vont découvrir ça. Puis moi, j'aime beaucoup votre musique. J'ai hâte de voir la suite. So, have a good day, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
When life is wonderful, don't care about money. I
and forth, yeah, we gotta fly. Always out of breath, yeah, I remember what you said. Take it easy, better wake up, 'cause every blissful time, you're the only one that's truly on my mind. I feel you, yeah.
You know I'll give all I care. Oh, I'll give it all. I know you'll give all you care. 'Cause we wanna go out. Yeah, we wanna go out, wanna go outside. And you wanna go out. Yeah, we wanna go out, wanna go outside. I can't wait till you come down. I can't wait. Hey, imagine us in the sunlight, a life passing through the coast. Yeah, we'll make it right. I want you beside me, like the waters run deep. And even in the tide, I want you to hold on. Always keep fighting. Don't you ever hold back the tears. When you call for me, I'll be near. When you come back home and you look older, I'll be holding you like a flower. And I wish I had a four-leaf clover, but I don't. 'Cause we wanna go out. Yeah, we wanna go out, wanna go outside.